Hello. In this video we're going to take a look at how you can use past papers to prepare for the new Cambridge English O-level exam. As the exams draw closer, using past papers is an excellent way to prepare for exams in any subject, because it can give you practice in what you are going to face in the real exam, helping you not just with a knowledge of the content of the exam, but also to work out how you need to spend on each task to complete it successfully. This is an important factor because you want to make sure you have enough time to complete the paper and maximize your marks. However, as far as English O-level is concerned, using past papers can be a challenge. In fact, they can even harm your studies if you aren't aware of how much the English exam has changed from 2024 onwards. The written papers have changed by 50%. This means that much of what you might practice using past papers is irrelevant to the new exam. However, the good news is that 50% of what the past papers can offer is useful in helping you to prepare, as long as you know which parts are useful and which parts are not. The purpose of this video is to help you make the right choices when it comes to studying using past papers. We will look at both papers from a past exam so you can be sure what you are practicing is actually helping you. The format we'll look at here is from past papers from 2018 to 2023. There is plenty of material in all the papers available from those years for many hours of practice. To avoid any confusion, I shall refer to the papers as the reading paper, and the writing paper, as the order of papers has changed for 2024 onwards. The tasks are also similar but in a different order. But essentially, the papers contain comparable tasks to complete. First let's look at the reading paper. As with the past papers, the new paper consists of a reading comprehension task and a summary writing task. You will also have two texts to read and use for this paper, known as the insert. The past paper starts with a summary task. The new summary task is very different from this one, so without going into detail, this task on the past paper is unsuitable for understanding how to do the new summary. In fact, it can even be misleading. For the new summary, forget what you've learned about writing summaries in the past and, if you're in one of my classes, follow what I teach you, and if you're not one of my students, be sure to use the techniques I teach you here in my videos on new style summary writing. This also means that writing the new summary is different, so all sections on the summary in past papers should be avoided. Following the summary, the past papers include a short task in which you have to locate, recognize and write down 3 opinions from within the text in specified paragraphs. In later papers, the questions ask you to locate pieces of advice. This section is not on the new exam, so it's a waste of your time, and I suggest you avoid it. Any skills gained from it will not help you on the new exam. The section on the new paper that replaces this is a completely different task that requires a different set of skills. Now let's look at the reading comprehension part of the paper. The first section in the past paper is called Reading for Meaning. It is identical to the first part of the new exam, so this part can, and should, be used as practice. However, the new exam includes a second section called the Writer's Craft, which involves a set of more advanced comprehension questions. This replaces the next 2 sections we will look at in the past papers. The penultimate question in the past paper focuses on vocabulary. You are asked to choose the meaning of a word according to context in the passage in the insert. Increasing your knowledge of vocabulary is always a good thing, and learning to deduce the meanings of words in context is a valuable skill you will need for the new exam, so this section can be of benefit, so it's worth doing, even though it's not directly related to the new exam. The last section on the past paper is called the Writer's Craft and consists of 2 questions that are somewhat harder than the other comprehension questions that come before the vocabulary task. This section is similar to some of the new questions that make up the second part of the reading comprehension in the new exam, so attempting them on the past papers might prove somewhat useful as preparation for the new exam. For the new syllabus, the previously mentioned vocabulary section, that was worth 5 marks, and the Writer's Craft section, that was worth 4 marks have both been replaced by a new section which now accounts for those 9 marks. Now let's look at the writing paper and which parts should, and more importantly, should not be used for practice and revision. There are 2 components that make up this paper in both the old and the new syllabus. Those components, directed writing and composition. The directed writing task on the old paper is very different from the new paper in the way you approach it. For the new syllabus, the directed writing task demands that you use a discursive approach to the task, based on 2 reading texts, which is considerably different from what the old paper asked you to do, so the past paper's directed writing task should be avoided completely. The final section on the past writing paper asks you to write a composition from a choice of 5 questions covering 3 forms: narrative writing, descriptive writing, and argumentative writing. You only choose one of these topics. The new syllabus only includes descriptive and narrative writing, and offers you 2 questions for each, giving you a choice of 4 questions. The past papers include at least 1 argumentative writing question. However, argumentative writing is now a compulsory part of directed writing for the new syllabus, so the argumentative writing questions on the past papers should be avoided for practice because they ask you to write a straight argumentative essay, which is not what you are now asked to do. The descriptive and narrative writing questions remain unchanged in format, so any of these can be used for practice from the past papers. Note, however, that this only includes past papers from 2018 onwards. Papers before that offer you some question titles in a different format, which should also be avoided. This is the end of this short presentation. I hope you found it useful. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you'd give this video a like, and possibly a comment, and, if you are interested in more instructional content to help you, as a student, or your students, if you are a teacher, succeed at the new O-level exam, please subscribe to the channel as I will be adding more content.